Hey, curious minds, have you ever seen something so bizarre or unexplainable that it left you questioning reality? Well, I have, and I'm sharing some of my favorite strange and mind-bending phenomena on the next Cat Chat Live. Join me tomorrow, Friday, April 4th, 2025, at 2 p.m. Central Time here on RichKatRanch, and we'll explore some weird and wild wonders. I'll see you there. Okay, the real test. It looks like my sound is working, but let me tell you, the streaming gods obviously have a problem with me. I had everything set up so beautifully. I hope you noticed that I figured out that whole transition thing. I figured out how to add music to the stream. And everything was fine. I've been so excited all week, and I practiced and did some like rehearsals the last couple of days. And then I came in today about 1:20 to get everything set up and have everything ready because there's lots of moving parts for today's stream. And there was this horrible echo all of a sudden. So nothing, I had not changed anything. I've been using all the same settings. Everything has been fine until today. So I'm going to open a window here just for a second. So let me mute my mic. Well, I won't mute my mic. I'm just going to unmute this window. Okay, I just wanted to be sure that the sound was coming through to you guys because, again, the echo earlier was just awful. It was just awful. And let me see. Oh, I need to open my little Twidget thing. I think I got that set up. I hope I got that set up, but that means I need to plug the stream in for the Twidget so that we can maybe experiment with showing some comments on screen. I know you guys know I've been talking about that for a while, and I'd really like to figure that out. So let me plug in the stream share address and see if it'll start showing the comments so that I can select them and put them up on the screen. I'm going to move that little window out of my way. Anyway, so it may not go as smoothly as it's gone in my rehearsals because I spent so much time fighting with the audio. I still don't understand how that could be a problem today when I've been playing with this now with everything set up and everything open that I needed to have open for like the last 3 days, and there wasn't a problem, and then I came in today. So hopefully it sounds good, hopefully it looks good, hopefully you'll enjoy what we're gonna talk about today, what I'm gonna share with you today. Thank you for being here during the live stream itself. I appreciate you for that, and thank you if you're gonna be watching as part of the rewatch crew later today after the stream ends. We're still going to do our wheel and all the fun things that I like doing. I'm going to turn this music up some because I don't know if y'all can hear it. So let me know if you can hear the music. Obviously, I don't want it to be too loud, and I don't want there to be an echo because of the music. But I don't have anyone here that can help me monitor the streams or let me know if it sounds like there's a problem. I'm going to unmute that other window right quick. Okay, I think it's okay. I'm going to mute that again. I'll start by telling you what I'm doing. Oh, I wanted to show you. We're going to open something together. So my friend Phyllis had a Pampered Chef party online this week. That music is too loud for me. Can y'all hear that music? And I have been missing my bundt pan. I'll tell you now, Richard is famous for throwing stuff away that he thinks I don't use. A bundt pan is something that, I might use that once or twice a year. And so it typically just stays tucked away somewhere where it's out of the way, and I know where it is when I need it. and it's gone. I'm not saying he did something with it, but it's such a common thing here that that's all I can figure. So I ordered myself, we're gonna open it together. I'm gonna try to open it. Oh, and if you watched my video earlier this week where I tried the makeup hacks from like TikTok and stuff. I don't have TikTok, but it's stuff that I've seen shared on Facebook. I did do the eyelashes. I wish they were up a little higher still at the corner, so I'm still playing with it. And I kind of did the lip thing. I don't know. I just don't think that lip thing is for me. At least I don't look like a clown like I looked in that video. Let's get this open as the part of the what am I doing. And this is my new bundt pan. It's called a fluted pan on Pampered Chef. Some more what am I doing? Y'all, it's so dreary and rainy and wet. And I curled my hair. It's still kind of curly looking, but then I had to put some like oil in it because it was just getting so frizzy and it was really going bananas, and that bugs me. So look at my pretty new fluted pan from Pampered Chef. So now I have to make something, don't I? Maybe since that one's nice and pretty, Richard won't be tempted to mess with it. Okay. So, today's stream is devoted to just maybe weird things that you have never heard of or you've never seen before, or all of the above. As I was researching to come up with some things to share with you, I certainly found some things that were new to me. So I hope that will be the same for you as well. And the way it's going to work, if I can get it to work, is that we'll spin the wheel. I just like spinning the wheel. I feel like I need to clean my camera. We'll spin the wheel. We'll get our first whatever it is that we're going to talk about for the day. I really want to do all of them. If we have some time at the end, I might do a couple rounds of Bandle. I don't know. Maybe I won't because I didn't get a chance to get that set up already, and I figured out how to make it work so that in an instant it's on the screen and we can play it. But since I devoted all the time to fixing the sound problems I was having, I didn't have time to get that open. Again, a lot of moving parts in today's thing, but check this out because I did figure out how to get the transitions. So when we go to the wheel and then we come back and it's just me, or I'm going to show you a video or something, there's these transitions, and I've known about that all along. I just didn't know how to do it. Well, I learned how to do it, so I've got, I think, a smoother experience set up for us. And I want to be sure. Okay, I got to make sure everything is really open because everything has to be open for OBS Studio to access it, to show it to you. So we'll try this first transition. Cross your fingers. Did you see how that worked? So I didn't have to do all that silly moving the window around to get it in the right part of the screen and then making the wheel the right size and all of that. That bugged me, I'm sure, more than it bugged you guys, and I'm sure it bugged you guys. So we're still going to do the wheel and see what comes up for us first. So now I have to go to the actual wheel. It's just like a mirror when you see it on screen. And let's see what we get first. Ken, I'm so excited you guys are here. Again, partly because it's so dreary and rainy and that just zaps the energy out of me. The axolotl. So give me a minute here because now I have to pull up the info on the axolotl. And there will be a little video, that'll go with it. If I can make it cooperate. That's what I need right there. So you may have heard of an axolotl. Let's move to the... Did you see how that worked? Oh my gosh, so I don't even remember if I had time to set up the other one. We'll see. I may have to apologize and just tell you that you're going to have to give me a minute to get it set up. But I think then I'll know really quickly how to just set it up so that I don't have to do it every time. So the axolotl Let me get back to my little thing about the axolotl. I decided this week, so I have a second monitor. Obviously, my computer itself has a monitor on it. But this week's stream really makes me wish for a third monitor. There really are so many little pieces to what I want to do today. Hey, Bud Files, how are you? Thanks for being here today. Please let me know if the sound is okay and it looks okay, because I had a lot of trouble with the sound as soon as I logged on today. Okay, so the axolotl, we're going to watch a little video, and then I'll just share some details with you about this little creature. Can you hear it? Okay, because I had the mic muted. So while we're enjoying this cute little picture of an axolotl, I will tell you a little bit about the animal, and then I have ChatGPT open, and I'm going to plug in the scientific name and have ChatGPT pronounce it for us, because I don't think I can swing that. Let me go back to that window again. I just want to... Okay. There. Oh, I don't even have to open up that window. I can just unmute the little tab there. So, the axolotl, the eternal salamander with superpowers. The axolotl, and let's have ChatGPT read this pronunciation for us.
Ambystoma mexicanum is pronounced Ambystoma mexicanum. Here's a breakdown. Ambystoma.
Ambystoma mexicanum. That was the ChatGPT pronunciation. I don't think I want to do that every time. It's just another step. So if you're interested to know what the taxonomic designators are for the animals we look at today. You're welcome to go do a little exploring and look at these big, long Latin-based words and see if you can pronounce them. But the axolotl is one of the most fascinating creatures in the animal kingdom. This rare amphibian, native to Mexico's lakes, is famous for its ability to regrow limbs, organs, and even parts of its brain, a true biological marvel. I will interject here that Robin at What the Flock, the What the Flock YouTube channel, they used to have an axolotl as a pet, so I haven't kept up with her very much. I think she stopped making videos, or, I mean, it's been a while now since I checked the channel because I didn't see any new videos. But you might check out her channel because she did have some videos of their little axolotl. So what makes the axolotl unique? I need to move this window over a little bit here. Give me a second. Unlike most amphibians, axolotls never undergo full metamorphosis. They remain in their larval form throughout their entire lives, a condition known as neoteny. So they're babies forever. That's why they're so cute. They retain their external feathery gills, giving them a permanently juvenile appearance. Even though they look like aquatic babies, axolotls are fully mature and capable of reproduction. They have regeneration superpowers. Axolotls can regrow entire limbs, parts of their heart, spinal cord, eyes, and even parts of their brain with no scarring. Scientists study their regenerative abilities in hopes of unlocking new treatments for human tissue regeneration and healing. Regarding their habitat and conservation, axolotls are found only in the lakes and canals of Mexico City, particularly Lake Huacumilco. Maybe Sue, if Sue at the Bud Files is still here with me, maybe she knows how to pronounce that. Due to pollution, habitat destruction, and invasive species, wild axolotls are critically endangered. However, they thrive in captivity and are popular in scientific research and pet trade. The axolotl's cute, smiling face and extraordinary healing abilities make it one of nature's most incredible creatures. Its survival depends on conservation efforts to protect its shrinking habitat. So just like all animals in the wild, we've got to be good stewards to make sure that they don't disappear. Let's see, we're going to close some of these windows. And hopefully my next little link will open up in the window I want. So let's go back to the wheel. Look how that worked. Oh my goodness. So now I'm going to take that off of the wheel. And let's give it another spin. See what we get next. The Gate of Hell. So let me find my info on the Gate of Hell. Or the Door to Hell, it looks like it's called in some places. All right, let's put this over here. Oh, let's just move this over here. That's what I need to do. And we'll move that other. We'll just take that other window down since it's opening in there. Okay. All right, so now switch back to this.
In the arid heart of the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan, a crater opens that seems to come straight from the darkest legends, an infernal abyss that has been burning ceaselessly for decades. Locals call it the Gate of Hell, a name that seems perfectly fitting for the surreal scene of dancing flames lighting up the desolate sand. This crater, scientifically known as the Darvaza crater, is the result of a bizarre human accident that gave rise to one of the most fascinating and unsettling phenomena on our planet. It all began in 1971, when a group of Soviet geologists ventured into the desert in search of natural gas deposits. During drilling, the ground beneath them collapsed, revealing a giant underground cavern filled with gas. Fearing that the toxic gas would spread into the atmosphere, the geologists decided to set the crater on fire, believing the flames would burn out within a few days. However, what was supposed to be a temporary solution turned into a perpetual fire that still burns today, more than 50 years later.
The Darvaza crater is about 70 meters wide and 30 meters deep, an enormous mouth emitting intense heat and an eerie glow visible for miles, especially at night. The flames, fueled by the natural gas trapped beneath the ground, seem to breathe, rising and falling
with the wind, creating a spectacle that is both mesmerizing and terrifying. Despite the evident danger, this site has become a destination for brave tourists and anyone drawn to the idea of standing before a piece of hell on Earth. The origin of this phenomenon is closely tied to the rich presence of natural resources beneath Turkmenistan, one of the countries with the largest natural gas reserves in the world. However, despite the immense energy resources, the Turkmen government has recently considered shutting the crater down permanently for both environmental and economic reasons. The perpetual fire, in fact, represents not only a waste of precious resources, but also a source of atmospheric pollution. Over the years, numerous scientific and adventurous expeditions have tried to study the crater up close. In 2013, Canadian explorer George Kourounis became the first person to descend into the crater, collecting samples of microbes that incredibly managed to survive in the extreme conditions of heat and toxic gases. This has sparked the interest of biologists and scientists who see the Darvaza crater as a natural laboratory to study extreme life forms, similar to those that might exist in extraterrestrial environments. Despite its sinister reputation, the Gate of Hell in Turkmenistan continues to evoke a strange attraction. There is something hypnotic about seeing the Earth burn so relentlessly, an open window to natural forces that humans cannot tame. Perhaps it is this very wildness that reminds us how nature, despite our efforts to control it, remains unpredictable and untamable. The future of the Darvaza crater is uncertain. Turkmen authorities, while understanding the site's tourist value, have repeatedly expressed their desire to close this flaming wound in the earth. But as long as the crater remains open, it will continue to burn, drawing travelers from around the world, curious to witness firsthand what seems to be a true gate of hell.
If you came across this intricately designed circle while diving in the ocean, what would you think? It must be human-made, right? When Japanese divers discovered these in 1995, their minds went rampant with possibilities. Some even suggested that maybe aliens were involved. But the speculation came to an end when they finally caught the culprit in the act, the white-spotted pufferfish. The male pufferfish is a true artist, nature's greatest if you will, and his preferred medium is sand. His circular masterpieces are about 2 meters wide and can take up to 10 days to construct. Carefully positioned geometric rows of sandy sediment ridges are carved out and decorated with small shells and coral. So what's the point of it all? How does a fish so small create such large displays? And how are these circles able to decorate themselves? What do you think the artist's intention was behind this piece? If you said a nest, then you'd be right. Every mating season, male pufferfish get to work constructing these carefully designed circular nests to attract mates. They swim back and forth using their pectoral, anal, and tail fins to disrupt the sediment and create ornate patterns. When the circles are all finished, females show up to inspect them. If the art really speaks to them and they like what they see, then they'll reproduce with the males. The center of the circle features a specially decorated region meant for a female to lay her eggs in. Once the eggs are laid, the female takes off while the male goes about fertilizing them. He guards the eggs until they hatch and then abandons the nest, leaving it to be swept up by the current. The pufferfish isn't the only artist in the animal kingdom. Other species, such as the bowerbird, are known to create extravagant displays to attract mates. But what sets the pufferfish apart is that on top of being expressive artists, they're also engineers. These magnificent circles are pretty much designed to decorate themselves. You won't see the pufferfish picking up little piles of sediment and distributing them on his own. Instead, he designs the circle to funnel water and fine sediment towards the center, and then to filter the water outwards through the circle's peak and valley system. That same system protects the laid eggs by slowing down the water current in the center by up to 25%. So not only are these formations beautiful, they're also functional. But scientists believe that at the end of the day, it's probably size that matters most. Sorry, guys. The idea is that if a small fish makes such a large formation, there's probably a biological reason for the size. Because of the poor visibility deep in the ocean and the distance between individuals, males have to make large nests in order for them to be found by females. But beyond just being able to find the things, we don't really know what else goes into a female's decision to breed with a particular male. Could they simply be impressed with his artistic flair? Well, because the whole circle is designed to collect sediment, researchers say there's no evidence that females care about anything more than the fine sand in the middle. So, while we may not completely understand their rituals, these fish show us that when looking for love, sometimes you've got to be creative. And that's why they're crazy creatures.
That's the cutest little thing. So a lot of animals, I'm sure you know, go to really involved, elaborate, or do really involved in elaborate things to attract a mate. I know birds, a lot of interesting mating rituals and things among birds. But that was just fascinating to me to watch that little fish creating this. And I can't even compute that. I don't understand how he can be so spatially aware that he can get these things even and spaced, equidistant, and it's just mind-boggling to me. And yet at the same time, so something so cute and obviously talented, if that's the word, can be so deadly. I'm pretty sure it's a pufferfish that if you eat pufferfish, you better be sure it's been prepared by somebody that knows how to prepare pufferfish, because it can be poisonous. But let's see what else I might be able to share with you about pufferfish. For years, divers off the coast of Japan were puzzled by these mysterious sand formations, initially thought to be the result of unknown ocean currents or alien-like activity. It wasn't until 2011 that researchers identified the true artist behind the circles, the tiny species of pufferfish, and again, I won't try to say this scientific name. The male pufferfish spends days to weeks meticulously flapping its fins and moving sand grains to carve out intricate ridges and valleys. And that makes me wonder, so what happens if there are a lot of strong currents? Or is that why it can sometimes take weeks? Because does it mean he has to redo parts if they get messed up because of currents or another animal coming too close? Or he enhances the design by placing shells and small debris in specific areas. The ridges help slow down currents. I know we learned about that in the video, protecting eggs. These circles are not just for decoration, they play a vital role in pufferfish production. These underwater crop circles highlight the amazing creativity and instinctive artistry of marine life. The fact that such a small fish can create something so mathematically precise using only its fins makes this one of the most fascinating natural phenomena ever discovered. So how many of you have seen that? And again, I think I've seen them, but I'd never done any studying. I'd never done any research on, what it meant. Okay, so I think I have to put this back over there, don't I? We'll see. Oh, but I need to make it a little bigger, I think. Let's see what we get. Go back to the wheel. Oh, there it is. But I had to move it. I don't know how that happened, that it got moved around. You know what? We're gonna get rid of these two things. And let's see if I put this back over here. Okay, so give me just 1 second. I'm gonna get this back where I want it over here. And then I'm going to have to open another window for where the videos will open up. And I want that one to be over here. So hopefully I'm not going to have to reset that. But that should only take a second if I have to reset it. So let's take this off. I don't remember if I took that last one off or not. Let's see what we get next. Oh, I haven't checked my little Twidget thing. It's still not showing. Still not showing the chats. I'll be working on that over the course of the next. Okay, so that's the one I didn't take off from before. I knew I missed a step. Rainbow eucalyptus. Let me find my rainbow eucalyptus information. I don't know if I had heard about these before. Nope, I want this over here. And for some reason, when this is opening these windows, they're not, they're just not sized right. I know it has to load, the videos along the side and stuff like that. Oh, well, that's not good. Okay, let's go here and see what happens. Okay, good. So we're still good now, and everything should open over here now, so I think we'll be good. So this is about rainbow eucalyptus trees. I guess we could have forwarded through this part. So tell me if you've ever heard about rainbow eucalyptus trees. Hey, Paulzilla, do you make sand sculptures underwater, Paulzilla? Okay, so rainbow eucalyptus trees. Let's see if there's anything else I can tell you about those. Again, some long words here I'm not going to try to pronounce. It's one of the most visually stunning trees in the world, known for its vibrant, multicolored bark. Now, I did learn that typically when you see a picture of one, it's been edited, it's been enhanced a little bit, that if you really go and see a grove or forest of these trees, they're not all so vibrant. You can see the colors, but it's much more muted for a lot of the trees. Native to the Philippines, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea, this fast-growing tree thrives in tropical climates and can reach heights of over 200 feet or 60 meters. The most striking feature of the rainbow eucalyptus is its ever-changing bark. As the tree sheds its outer layer, the inner bark appears in bright shades of green. Over time, this bark matures and transforms into a spectacular mix of blue, purple, orange, and red as it's exposed to air. The constant peeling and regrowth process creates a rainbow effect, giving the tree a surreal, painted appearance. It prefers humid tropical environments and grows naturally in forests, but has also been cultivated in warmer regions worldwide, including Hawaii, Florida, and parts of Central and South America. While admired for its beauty, rainbow eucalyptus is also valued for its wood. It's commonly used for paper production, especially in pulpwood plantations, and to a lesser extent for furniture and construction. However, it's rarely harvested in ornamental settings due to its visual appeal. The rainbow eucalyptus is a perfect example of how breathtaking nature can be. Whether found in its native habitat or cultivated as an ornamental tree, it continues to captivate people with its natural kaleidoscope of colors, making it one of the most unique trees on earth. All right, and now let's spin our wheel. We'll take that off. This is where I need a third desktop. I'd like to not have to open something and close something. I just want to be able to see it all at one time. Let's see what we get next. Oh, Lake Maracaibo. So I will tell you too that the videos that we're seeing, I don't know why this still keeps wanting to open in this other window. That's annoying. Well, we'll make it work. So all of the videos that you're seeing today are from the Creative Commons section of YouTube. So if you are looking for something and you want to share it on your channel or incorporate it into a video that you might be making, you can select, there are filters when you search for the topic you're researching, and then there's a filter and you can select Creative Commons, and that just means that people allow you to share it. It's not copyrighted. You won't get a copyright claim or a strike. Now, it can change from time to time. I've had one video relatively recently come up where, it was one of an early video that I shared, and then the person, I guess, that created it, or the person that created the content that person might have used to create their video, decided that they didn't want to share it. Now, when it happened to me, it just meant I can't monetize it anymore. So it wasn't that I have to take it down or nobody can look at it, but I can't make ad revenue off of it or anything anymore. So that's not a big deal. No one's going to get rich on YouTube with the ad revenue. Y'all, that's, like a penny per video. So that's not why I do YouTube. One day maybe it'll be a little more lucrative financially, but for now it's just fun to spend time with people on the web and share interesting things, or at least things that are interesting to me. So Lake Maracaibo, this is another video I found, but I couldn't find a lot that was Creative Commons that showed you more of what I wish you could see. So you'll have to do your own research, because there are videos online that show you real scenes of Lake Maracaibo. So this video we're going to see is just a photographer that was photographing there and getting some video. So it'll still give you a little taste of what happens there. But it's the the place itself that makes it even more interesting than the images that you might see.
And they will start pushing down cold wind at night towards the lake, which creates this special atmospheric condition to actually produce extremely intense lightning storms. The biggest challenge of shooting lightning is to decide which aperture you're going to use. You have to do your best to actually capture this whole experience at once, but you will never really get the full thing captured. Capturing weather and capturing storms especially is a great feeling, because I can share with the world what I'm experiencing as a traveler, as a storm chaser, and as someone who puts himself into this danger to get the pictures and the experience I want. It's just something that humanity can't influence, and you will feel very, very small when you're in front of a huge storm, and that's the best feeling for me that I can possibly get.
This is CreatureCast. Here's Dr. Phil Pugh talking about working on siphonophores, a very beautiful kind of jellyfish that lives in long, elaborate... Okay, I just realized y'all couldn't hear me. I'm apologizing for the audio on this video. There's not a lot available online that I can share. So thank goodness for captions.
And so we do get to together how these animals look, how they function. So really it was a revelation to scuba diving, watching them using the mechanism, which was fascinating indeed. These things had been originally described in the 1880s, but and it took 100 years when they were finally photographed by people using submersibles. As we came up to it, it looked more and more just like the Milky Way, but it was a beautiful siphonophore just hanging there in a spiral. And it was amazing. Other ones seem to, when you see them at distance, they look like a firework display. Other ones.
Me and this microphone do not get along. Okay, so siphonophores are a unique and fascinating group of marine organisms belonging to the phylum Cnidaria and the class Hydrozoa. They are closely related to jellyfish and corals, but are distinct in their structure and behavior. Unlike single organisms, siphonophores are colonial animals, meaning they're composed of specialized individuals or zooids that function together as a single entity. Their colony consists of multiple zooids, each specializing for different tasks such as movement, feeding, reproduction, or defense. Now, I'm interpreting that to mean that this animal that we're looking at here is actually comprised of multiple animals. Is that what you guys are thinking? Because that's what I think that's telling us. And that different animals in the organism that we see that looks like one single thing, different parts of that do different things. So some of the key structures in a siphonophore include the pneumatophore, a gas-filled float that helps the organism stay buoyant, a nectophore, pulsating bell-shaped structures responsible for propulsion, gastrozoids, specialized zooids used for capturing and digesting prey, dactylozoids, tentacle-bearing structures that help with prey capture and defense, and gonozoids, zooids dedicated to reproduction. Siphonophores are found in oceans worldwide, from surface waters to the deep sea. Many species, such as the Praia dubia, inhabit the deep ocean and can grow to extreme lengths up to 40 to 50 meters. I can't do that math. A meter's a little over a yard, so y'all can do the math now. Making them among the longest animals on Earth. They are carnivorous, using their tentacles, which are lined with specialized stinging cells called nematocysts, to capture small fish, crustaceans, and plankton. Some species deploy bioluminescent lures to attract prey in the dark depths of the ocean. The notable species of siphonophores are the Portuguese man-o'-war, one of the most well-known siphonophores. It resembles a jellyfish but is actually a colonial organism. It has long, venomous tentacles that deliver painful stings to prey and potential threats, including humans. And the Praia dubia, a deep-sea siphonophore known for its extreme length, often considered one of the longest animals in the ocean. Many siphonophores possess bioluminescent capabilities, which they use for communication, attracting prey, or deterring predators. This adaptation is especially beneficial in the deep sea, where light is scarce. They're remarkable organisms that showcase the complexity of marine life. Their unique colonial structure, predatory tactics, and adaptations make them an essential part of ocean ecosystems. Despite their delicate and translucent appearance, they are efficient hunters and an evolutionary marvel in the animal kingdom. And talking about bioluminescence, I'm instantly taken back to, I lived in Gulfport, Mississippi for 4 years, back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And my house was right across the street from the ocean. And I remember one night, just shortly after I moved there, I had the front door open so I could see out. I could see across the street to see the ocean. And I see these weird lights on the ocean. So right away I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, aliens. I'm going into full sci-fi mode. So I walked across the street. This was at night. I walked across the street and I could see these lights in the water. And there were some other people. It was dark enough, it wasn't like 10 o'clock at night, but it was dark enough that that's when you could see the lights. And there were still other people out on the beach. And so I asked somebody what that was. And they said, oh, they're jellyfish. And that was the first I knew that these kind of creatures could do that, had bioluminescent characteristics. It was beautiful. It was magical. It was amazing to me. And so when I came across these siphonophores, I wouldn't have known a Portuguese man-o'-war was one of these things. I thought it's right up my alley, and I thought I would share that little story with you guys too. So now let's look at our wheel again. Where is our wheel? All right, let's get here to the wheel and remove this and spin again. Oh, we're going to get a poodoo. Okay, so poodoo, this is kind of new to me. I just recently learned about poodoos. Let me find my info on poodoos. Have you ever heard of a poodoo? Who's heard of a poodoo? Where is my poodoo page? All right, let's find it over here. All right, let's see if this will work. I pulled that particular page out, or tab out of the list of tabs. So we'll see if it'll line up for us right. Yeah, I think it's going to work. Let's look at some poodoos and then we'll talk about them. They're super cute. poodoo. Oh, so I spent some time in Chile years and years ago. I don't remember seeing a poodoo, but there was so much to see. I'm sure my brain just got too full after a while. Hey, Connie and Southern Mama, thank y'all for being here today. So let's see what else we can learn about the poodoo. The poodoo is the world's smallest deer. So cervid, that's the family that deers fall in. And it's known for its adorable appearance and elusive nature. So the video talked about the two species of poodoo. They're both found in South America. The poodoos are tiny, standing only about 12 to 17 inches and weighing between 10 and 30 pounds, making them much smaller than a typical deer. Their fur is reddish brown to dark brown, providing good camouflage in their dense forest habitats. Males have tiny, simple antlers, excuse me, that are only a few inches long and don't branch like those of larger deer. Poodoos live in dense forests and mountain regions where they can easily hide from predators. They're solitary and territorial, often marking their territory with dung and scent glands. They're excellent climbers and jumpers, using their agility to escape predators. They're herbivores, feeding on leaves, twigs, fruits, and seeds, and unlike larger deer, they stand on their hind legs to reach food higher up. Poodoos face threats from habitat destruction, poaching, and predators such as foxes and pumas. They're also vulnerable to dog attacks and road accidents in human-inhabited areas. Both species are classified as near threatened due to population decline. I don't remember how old that video was that I showed you, but obviously at some point some data has been collected to indicate that they're on the near threatened list. Despite their small size, poodoos are surprisingly resilient and have adapted well to their environments. Their tiny stature and big-eyed, endearing look make them one of the most charming animals in the deer family. And yeah, so I saw there was a Facebook post. That's all I can tell you is that the first time I ever heard of a poodoo, it was a Facebook post. I don't remember where. I don't remember who the place was that shared the post or why it happened to be talking about poodoos, but I thought, what is a poodoo? And the one I saw even I thought was just a baby one because you could tell it was small, but it was an adult one. It looks like in this picture, obviously the baby has the spots like a deer, and then they lose their spots as they get older. Oh, so now I gotta find the wheel. Aha! So let's take the poodoo off of there, see what comes up next. The Rafflesia arnoldi. Okay, so you guys will have heard of this, I think, but I didn't know much about it other than, the little bit that you might see online. Okay. All right, let's learn about this together.
The world's largest flower. Rafflesia arnoldi. Today, we're going to one of the most incredible wonders of the plant world, the Rafflesia arnoldi, also known as the corpse flower. Is giant, with a diameter that can reach up to 3 feet, is not only the largest flower on Earth, but also one of the most unique and mysterious plants you'll ever learn about. Stick with me as we explore its fascinating features, its surprising smell, and the role it plays in nature. The giant flower. So, what makes the Rafflesia arnoldi so extraordinary? First of all, it's the size. This flower can grow up to 3 feet across, about the size of a large pizza. To give you an idea, it's larger than most people's heads and definitely stands out in its native habitat. But here's the thing, this giant flower doesn't grow like most plants you might be familiar with. In fact, the Rafflesia arnoldi doesn't have a typical stem, leaves, or roots. Instead, it grows as a parasite, attaching itself to a host plant, usually a vine in the forests of Southeast Asia, particularly in Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. The smell. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The Rafflesia arnoldii is famous for its odor. The flower emits a strong, foul smell that's often compared to the smell of rotting flesh. Hence the nickname, the corpse flower. But why this terrible scent? It's all about attracting pollinators. The smell draws in carrion beetles and flies, insects that are typically attracted to dead animals. These insects are the Rafflesia's primary pollinators. The flower blooms for a very short time, just 3 to 7 days. So, when it does bloom, it needs to attract these insects quickly to reproduce before it wilts away. The life cycle. The Rafflesia starts its life as a small bud growing within its host plant. Over several months, this bud develops into the large, spectacular flower. However, most of its life is spent underground, where it stays hidden as a parasitic growth. It's only when it's ready to bloom that it breaks through the surface, showing off its giant, red petals with white spots. Why is it important? So, what makes this giant flower so important to our planet? Well, despite its unpleasant scent, the Rafflesia arnoldii plays a crucial role in maintaining biodiversity. It supports various species of pollinators and helps balance the ecosystems of Southeast Asia's tropical rainforests. The plant's rarity also makes it an important symbol for conservation efforts in these regions, reminding us of the importance of preserving our planet's unique ecosystems. The Rafflesia arnoldii is truly one of the world's wonders, a giant flower that captivates both scientists and nature enthusiasts alike. From its massive size to its pungent fragrance, this flower proves that nature isn't afraid to be a little unconventional.
All right, back to what I was saying. So I think about once a year I will see social media, posting about this corpse flower that's at an arboretum somewhere or some kind of a nature preserve, and people come to see it from all around the world because it only blooms like once a year. And they always mention the smell, that it smells like rotting flesh or decomposing flesh. I guess it would still be neat to see it, but I don't know that it would be neat to smell it. I was kind of tickled that the guy said, I don't know if you heard him early in the video, saying that it's about 3 feet wide, the size of a large pizza. What? Where do you get a pizza that's 3 feet wide? 3-foot pizza? Okay, I know he was just trying to make a point. It is a big flower. 3 feet is big for a flower, for sure. But so maybe you've heard about that, but I didn't know a whole lot about it, and that's why I thought I would share. Oh, is there still no sound now? Oh, so Connie, give it just a second because it'll catch up. I had forgotten to turn my microphone on. Let's go back to our wheel now. I got to do all these gymnastics now with my wheel. Remove that. See what we get next. Thank you guys again for hanging out with me today. Thanks for being part of the rewatch crew if you didn't catch it live. The goblin shark. Okay, we're going to pull up the goblin shark. And I'm going to tell you now that, I love animals. And I'm not easily scared. And, I like scary things. I like horror movies. Stuff like that. But if you're going to have nightmares...
Let's dive into the...
If you're going to have nightmares, this is the stuff of nightmares. You could have a really good nightmare with this thing. So, the goblin shark, I think I'd seen a picture of one of these somewhere. I wouldn't have been able to tell you what it was called. But it's horrifying. Like, I'd rather meet a great white shark, I think, than one of these.
let's dive into the goblin shark. Welcome back to All Things Marine. Today we will be looking at our first shark on the channel. And this is a very weird one, if not one of the weirdest sharks. The goblin shark. Or Mitsukarina austoni.
He has problems too, see?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but that doesn't matter. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below if you love marine life as much as I do, which is very hard to do. And go ahead and smash that like button if you're watching with this right now. But anyways, let's dive right into the goblin shark. The goblin shark is a very strange looking shark, also a very rare shark. Not much is known about this species of shark. Grows up to a length that we know of about 12 feet long and a maximum weight of up to about 450 pounds. They are a deep water shark roaming around at depths where the sunlight does not reach, which is a possible explanation for the long protrusion on the snout of the shark. This protrusion is full of electroreceptors, just like many sharks have. However, this shark might have an abundance of these in order to help detect prey in the dark depths of the ocean. It has been found mainly in temperate waters as well as tropical waters, but the actual range is not known because there's not been many reported specimens of this shark. There's only been a couple dozen that have been actually captured, and it's mainly found dead. Now, this shark has a very specialized set of jaws that is used to spring forward and catch prey with its very pointy teeth. The prey that it most likely preys on is species such as cephalopods like octopus or other smaller fish. The goblin shark does so with its protrusible jaw. I will put a video right now up for you guys to see this in action. It is a very freaky thing to see. This shark is definitely a nightmare fuel, if anything. Thank you guys so much for watching, and
Okay, that is, if that's not in the strange creatures category, I don't know what is. I can't really get my head around that jaw, the mechanics of how that jaw works. Because like when you see this picture here, right? I mean, it's scary enough like that. But then you watch that jaw come out, and it makes me wonder if you've seen the movie Alien with Sigourney Weaver, like the 1979 classic, one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Because at the time, you know, the whole space thing, there were Star Wars before that, and so the space concepts were really big. And then the aliens things, you know, that's been around for a long time. But that creature in that movie had a similar concept for that monster, the alien creature in the Alien movie, because his jaw would come out, and it would come out, and then another part would come out, and then another part would come out, and it was so horrifying. And that's what I think of when I see this shark, because he's just floating along there, right, and the upper jaw is like tucked up under that big long nose looking thing. Then he gets to his prey, right, and then that jaw comes out, and it's just horrifying. So Connie says that monster, the alien in Alien, was a xenomorph. So that makes me think of that, right? If y'all have seen the movie, do you understand how that seems very similar to me, the way this thing's jaw comes out? So that had to be on the list, because I hope it's nothing I ever see. I did pet a shark once at Isla Mujeres, but it was like a nurse shark or a sand shark or something that's, you know, not inclined to kill you. It was very big, but it just would lay there, be still, and let you pet on it. The goblin shark has a long flattened snout filled with needle-like teeth, giving it a nightmarish appearance. It has pale pinkish gray skin due to blood vessels showing through its semi-translucent skin, a rarity among sharks. It's a bizarre-looking shark that has remained relatively unchanged for over 125 million years. Goblin sharks are ambush predators that use their electrosensitive snout to detect fish, squid, and crustaceans in the deep. And I'll just add that, yeah, easy to ambush something when you've then got this trick jaw that shoots out of your head to grab a hold of something. When prey comes close, its jaws snap forward rapidly, pulling the victim in with its vacuum-like bite. So that scene we saw in the video of the shark grabbing a fish, that was slowed down significantly. I'm sure it happens in the blink of an eye that it's able to do that thing to catch its prey in real life. When prey comes close, okay, we did that. Goblin sharks live at depths of 300 to 4,300 feet or 100 to 1,300 meters, far beyond human reach. They're rarely seen alive and are mostly discovered when accidentally caught in deep sea fishing nets. Because of its elusive nature, little is known about goblin shark behavior, lifespan, or reproduction. It's one of the many alien-like creatures that remind us just how much of the deep ocean is still unexplored. Whew. All right, so let's get to the wheel again. Take that off, do some spinning. I'm kind of getting the hang of this now. I just don't like having to work now with another extra window. All right, the lowland streak tenrec. This is another super cute little animal that I had never heard about. Let me pull up my thing about that. And I will tell you that this video, again, not a lot in the Creative Commons that I could share, and so this one is in a really weird resolution. I don't even know what that resolution is, so I might have to drag it over a little bit once we get to that screen.
The lowland streak.
Okay, let me open this up because it's really wide. Yeah, it's like widescreen. But let's see what we can learn about it. And again, super cute. I'd love to see one of these.
The lowland streak tenrec is a small, diurnal insectivore endemic to Madagascar's lowland rainforests, scrublands, and even agricultural areas. Distinctive for its black fur striped with bright yellow and prominent spine crests used defensively, it's unusually social for a tenrec, living in family groups of up to 20 individuals within complex burrow systems. Communicating through stridulation, rubbing quills, tongue clicking, and possibly echolocation, these tenrecs primarily feed on earthworms and insects. Breeding occurs in the late dry season, and despite being currently classified as least concerned by the IUCN, habitat loss and hunting pose ongoing threats to their populations. Their unique adaptations, including stridulation and social behavior, make them a captivating example of Madagascar's unique fauna.
All right, here is a lowland streaked tenrec. I think they're super cute. To me, it looks like a skunk combined with some kind of a mouse or shrew or mole or something, and a porcupine and a bumblebee all together, right? But they just look so cute. You know, I always want to touch everything. It'll be still long enough to touch it, but I don't know how you could touch this thing with those quills on it. So let's see what else we might be able to learn about the lowland streaked tenrec, the spiky striped oddity of Madagascar. It's one of the most unique and bizarre-looking mammals on Earth. Found only in Madagascar, this small insectivorous creature is a mix between a hedgehog, a porcupine, and a shrew, but it's actually more closely related to elephants and aardvarks than to rodents. The tenrec has a long, pointy snout, bold black and yellow stripes, and a coat covered in spiky quills. It's the only mammal known to use stridulation, a sound-producing technique usually found in insects like crickets. So if you didn't know, crickets do their chirping by rubbing their legs together or rubbing their legs against their bodies. That's how they make that sound. It's not coming from a voice in their heads or out of their throats. And this little animal does the same thing. He makes sounds through stridulation. It rubs together specialized barbed quills on its back to create a high-pitched noise for communication and defense. How in the world do they do that? How do they control the quills? That's, okay, it's amazing and bizarre. Unlike porcupines, it can detach some of its quills, which can embed in an attacker. It is highly social, unusual for tenrecs, and often found in family groups. It lives in lowland rainforests and prefers damp underground burrows. Its diet consists mostly of insects, earthworms, and small invertebrates, which it digs up with its snout. Its bright coloration, defensive quills, and unique way of communicating make it one of Madagascar's most fascinating creatures. This tiny, spiky oddball is a reminder of the incredible diversity of life on Earth. Isn't that fascinating? That's just amazing to me. All right, let's take him off the wheel, see what we get next. Hey, Lee, thanks for stopping in. Have you ever seen a lowland streaked tenrec? The Cave of Crystals. Let me pull up my Cave of Crystals thing. I think I've heard of this one also. It's something I would love to see. There is, and I tried to remember what the name of this is. I can't believe I can't remember the name. Okay, I'm going to just do a search instead of looking through all these. Okay, here we go. Here's my Cave of Crystals. Anyway, so I started to say there's when I make the window small, it's quiet, and then as soon as I make the window big, it decides it wants to make noise. There is a cave somewhere down toward Austin, San Antonio, down that way, that when the kids were little, we went and visited. I can't remember what the name of it is. I can't believe I don't remember the name of it. And you go in, and there weren't crystals, but they had the, if I remember right, the stalagmites and the stalactites, and that was just amazing. All right, so Crystal Cave in Mexico. Let's see what this guy can tell us. This is from Atlas Obscura here on YouTube.
Deep beneath the earth in Chihuahua, Mexico, grows a real-world fortress of solitude. In 1910, an Nickel mine in Mexico, the Pinolles Mining Company discovered what came to be known as the Cave of Swords. It was an 80-meter-long hallway with beautiful gypsum crystals growing up to 2 meters in length. Unfortunately, the cave was opened up for exploration and later tourism, which destroyed many of the crystals. 90 years later, 2 miners working for the same company stumbled on another cave, except this one was much bigger. Nika sits on an ancient fault line above a magma chamber. This heated the groundwater and filled it with sulfide ions. So when this hot sulfide brew met with the cool oxygenated water in the cave, they didn't mix exactly, they kind of sat on top of each other. But the oxygen began to diffuse into this rich sulfide soup, and slowly, at an infinitesimal pace, these crystals began to form. They've been growing for 500,000 years. Today, the largest crystal in the cave is 12 meters in length, 4 meters in diameter, and 55 tons. It is 20 times bigger than any previously known crystal. Amazingly, there's no limit to how big these crystals can get. Given enough time, they will grow ever larger. These are Fortress of Solitude crystals. They are Superman crystals. One big difference between the Fortress of Solitude and the Cave of Crystals is the temperature. The Cave of Crystals is blisteringly hot. It is 50 degrees Celsius or 122 Fahrenheit, and the humidity level is a constant 90%. Even wearing special cooling suits filled with ice and water, researchers were only able to spend about 40 minutes down there. These crystals grew underwater. It's only in the last 20 years this mining company has pumped out all of the groundwater so they can extract various precious ores from the area. But as soon as it doesn't make economic sense for this mining company, the crystals will be resubmerged, returned to their underwater existence. And this is probably for the best, because while it's incredible we get the chance to study them now, that's their natural environment. It's where they grew. It's where they can keep growing. And I think considering how beautiful, but also how fragile these are, just knowing that they're under your feet, growing ever larger, is more than enough. Subscribe here and watch more videos here. This isn't gypsum, this is salt.
The NICA project is doing a ton of amazing science around this, including looking at ancient life forms in these crystals and trying to find their closest relative. I've included a link down below if you're interested in learning more about that.
Yeah, one day, I'm dreaming of the one day, Lee, that I will have this whole mute my mic, not unmute my mic thing figured out. And today, if you missed the beginning of the stream, I've been practicing and rehearsing because I have all these different media sources that I'm using for today. And everything's gone great. I was so excited about the stream today, so I came in about 45 minutes or so before the show started to get some windows open and have everything ready to go. And there was this horrible echo. Like I've never had this echo with OBS before, I don't think. I mean, I just recently started using it. Just ridiculous echo. And then I just had to do all kinds of research and watch videos and look things up online to try to figure out how to fix the echo issue. I still don't even know exactly which thing I did that might have worked, but I do know it's going to be a problem if I have some kind of audio coming from another source and have my mic open. I just got to remember to turn it off, and then I have to remember to turn it on. But let's see, that guy covered a lot about these crystals, so there may not be much more I can tell you. I don't know where NACA, Mexico is, and I think I got distracted and I wasn't looking because he's pretty good about showing maps to let you know where it is. But regarding the crystals, I know he talked about it a little bit. The cave contains massive selenite or gypsum crystals, with some measuring up to 36 feet, 11 meters long. I think, did his thing say 12 meters long? And weighing 55 tons. Which they had that image of the whale to give you an idea of how heavy 55 tons would be. The translucent sword-like formations grew over hundreds of thousands of years under perfect conditions, high heat, mineral-rich water, and stable humidity. So I know here when it's, like 80 degrees even, and we've got high humidity, it's sweltering, it's miserable. So I can't imagine temperatures 120 or above with high humidity. And isn't it just crazy the extremes that exist on this one little tiny planet? That there can be such frigid places and then places like this that are so incredibly hot. The cave was discovered in 2000 by miners working in the Nika silver and lead mine. Unfortunately, once the mine's water pumps were turned off, the cave flooded again. I don't know where does it get that it says the cave flooded again. I just skipped over some things because I don't want to repeat a lot of what you've already seen in the video, making it inaccessible. However, its discovery has provided valuable insights into geology, crystal growth, and even extremophile life forms that survive in such harsh conditions. Oh, I guess you can't get to it anymore. Cueva de los Cristales remains one of the most awe-inspiring natural formations ever found, proving that Earth still holds hidden wonders beneath its surface. Back to the wheel. Take off the crystal cave. They have to remove the water. Wow. I guess I won't get to see that anytime soon then, will I? Okay, let's find my glass frog. Oh, look, that is so much easier for me to just run a search through all my little pages here than to just scroll through everything. All right, the glass frog. I'd never heard of a glass frog. I'll tell you that now.
Glass frogs, family central entity, are a unique group of small...
Pause for me. And let's look at this little video. This will tell us a lot about them.
Glass frogs, family central entity, are a unique group of small amphibians known for their translucent skin, particularly on their bellies. This allows you to see some of their internal organs,
like the heart, liver, and digestive system, making them look almost like living windows. Found primarily in the rainforests of Central and South America, glass frogs are tree-dwelling species arboreal living near streams where they reproduce. There are over 150 species of glass frogs, many of which are green on their upper side, providing excellent camouflage among leaves. Their transparency acts as a form of camouflage by confusing predators, especially when viewed from below against the dappled forest light. Some species, like the Hyalinobatrachium fleischmanni, are more studied due to their fascinating reproductive behavior. Males guard their eggs laid on leaves overhanging water, protecting them from predators and ensuring they drop into the water as tadpoles. Glass frogs are not only visually striking but are also important indicators of environmental health, especially in tropical ecosystems, where their presence is a sign of a healthy habitat. Unfortunately, many glass frog species face threats due to habitat loss and pollution.
How weird is that? I just think that is so interesting. I like frogs. I mean, like I wouldn't have a pet frog, I don't guess. I have a turtle. That counts for something, right? So that guy actually pronounced the family name for us. So I'm not going to try that. They live in humid tropical rainforests, mainly in trees near streams. They're nocturnal, meaning they are most active at night, hunting insects and small invertebrates. He talked about the males guarding the eggs. They're a rare example of biological transparency, a phenomenon mostly seen in marine creatures. And if you remember, that goblin shark has kind of translucent or transparent skin, making him look that pinkish gray color because you can see the blood vessels and stuff beneath the skin because of the translucence of the skin. Makes them one of the most glass frogs are a rare example of biological transparency, a phenomenon mostly seen in marine creatures. Their unique physiology and behaviors make them one of the most intriguing species in the animal kingdom. However, due to deforestation and habitat loss, some species are considered threatened or endangered. This incredible frog is a reminder of the amazing adaptations nature can produce and why it's important to protect the world's rainforests. It's just sad to me sometimes when we drive, we don't go places very often, but when we drive someplace far enough away from home that, we see open area or farmland, ranch land, to know that the day will probably come when there won't be anything like that. Everything will be built up. Everything will have man-made structures on it. I don't know, but people are going to have some hard decisions to make when that time comes, because I don't think enough people appreciate why we need forests and grasslands and waterways, and that everything doesn't have to be filled with buildings and houses and stuff. Although, again, there's a part of the issue with, as we have more and more people on Earth, we got to have more and more housing for them. So, again, somebody's going to have to face some really hard decisions one day with everything getting built up like it's getting built up. All right, back to the wheel. What are we going to get next? I can't believe we haven't had anything from space yet. I have some space stuff on here. Okay. Here's another. So, I like snakes, right? Like, I really can say I like snakes. I enjoy snakes. I think they're beautiful. I think they're interesting. I think they're important parts of the ecosystem. I have a healthy respect for the ones that shouldn't be handled or messed with. But I enjoy interacting with the ones that we find here. And they do good work here for us to keep, things away that I would rather not have to deal with. Rats and other things that get in the pen and stuff like that. But this snake is, like, I understand the concept of evolution, and I understand the purpose of evolutionary mutations and adaptations and things like that. I get that, but this snake makes no sense to me. So if you've never seen it, we're gonna learn about it together. And all I can tell you is that at some point I saw a video or a picture or something online somewhere. Oh, here we go. I think this should be the right one. Yeah, I think this is the right one. But now I'm going to have to pause it again because when I pull it out of the lineup over there. Oh, okay, it didn't do that this time. Oh, I got lucky. Let's see. This is the spider-tailed horned viper from Iran. Is that creepy or is that creepy? So that snake looks like something out of a science fiction movie or some other computer-generated thing. It just blows my mind. And again, I get it. Yeah, it makes sense that it would, adapt or grow that tail over the eons to be able to attract and catch the birds that it prefers to eat. So let's learn about this. The spider-tailed horned viper, oh, I wish I could say that taxonomic name for you, is a fascinating and unique species of venomous snake native to western Iran. It was first described in 2006, though specimens had been collected decades earlier without recognizing their distinctiveness. The most striking characteristic of this viper is its tail, which has a specialized spider-like structure at the tip. This tail consists of enlarged scales and a bulbous end that closely resembles a spider or insect. The rest of its body has rough, horned scales, helping it blend into its rocky desert habitat. The spider-tailed horned viper is a master of deception. It uses caudal luring, a hunting strategy where it wiggles its tail to mimic the movements of a spider or other prey. This attracts birds, particularly insect-eating species, which then become the snake's next meal. Once a bird comes close, the viper strikes with deadly precision. This species is found in the arid mountainous regions of western Iran. It prefers rocky terrain where it can camouflage itself among stones and sand. Like other vipers, the spider-tailed horn viper has potent venom used to subdue prey, but little is known about its venom's effect on humans because bites are rare. Thank goodness. Due to its limited range and the potential threat from habitat destruction and illegal collection for the pet trade, I won't even go there. A pet one of these. There are concerns about its conservation. However, exact population numbers remain uncertain. The spider-tailed horned viper stands out because it's one of the best examples of evolutionary mimicry. While other snakes use tail luring, this species takes it to another level by mimicking not just movement, but also the shape of a spider, making it one of nature's most effective ambush predators. That's just, again, put that with that goblin shark and you've got a blockbuster movie waiting to happen for people that like horror stuff. Still can't believe we haven't gotten any of the space stuff off my wheel. The Moai statues. You guys will have heard about these also. Let's pull that up. All right.
Scientists finally discovered the truth about Easter Island. For many decades, people's minds have been occupied with the mystery of Easter Island, a remote piece of volcanic soil far away in the Pacific Ocean. But our planet hosts thousands of such lonely islands. What is so particular about this one? The mystery is concealed not on the island itself, but the giant stone statues covering it. Who created the world-famous huge stone heads? Did they serve any specific purpose? Where did their creators arrive from, and where did they disappear? Well, it seems the answer is finally just around the corner. Watch this video and satisfy your curiosity, learning all the truth about Easter Island. Remember to give us thumbs up. We work to make your life brighter. What do we know about the island itself? Rapa Nui, which is the name given to Easter Island by its first inhabitants, is the territory of Chile and is situated in the southern Pacific Ocean. And it is so far that you can easily consider it one of the most distant places on the world's map. It lies 1,200 miles away from Pitcairn, which is its closest neighbor. Chile itself is 2,300 miles away to the west. The only transport that can take you there is a plane. If you want to get to this destination point, you will need to spend 5 hours on board flying from Santiago, Chile to Easter Island. The area of the island is just 63 square miles, and such, let's admit, a tiny territory is home to 887 huge stone statues. Here are some interesting facts you might not know about them. The statues carry the name Moai. They started to be carved at some point between the 13th and 15th centuries. Rapa Nui statues are easily recognized thanks to their peculiar faces. They have long noses, wide chins, rectangular ears, heavy brows, and deeply set eyes. It is quite curious that the nostrils curl in the way fish hooks do. Firstly, people thought that the statues were made up only by their heads. But surprisingly, it turned out that there are full bodies that are attached to the heads. It was discovered during excavations in May 2012. The bodies were just hidden underground. In fact, the statues are very tall. The biggest one is 33 feet tall and weighs 90 US tons. But that's not the record. One statue unearthed on the island was incomplete, but according to scientific calculations, it had to reach 70 feet in height and weigh about 297 US tons. Still, the heads of the statues, visible from the first sight, make up 3/8 of each statue's size. As for the arms, they were carved against the bodies, resting in different positions. Most statues, 834 out of 887, were carved from the material called tuff, which is, in fact, compressed volcanic ash. Curiously, all the statues, except one group, face inland. It means their backs are turned to the ocean. Perhaps the reason for that was the belief that the statues were the protectors of the villagers. That's why they overlooked the settlement. The only statues not fitting into this pattern can be found at Ahuakivi, a sacred place for the people of Rapa Nui. There is a unique statue on the island. It is the only statue which was found in a kneeling position. Its name is Tukuturi. Scientists believe that the statue depicts an ancient singer. His position resembles the one people took at the festival of Rui. The head of the statue is lifted quite high, and you can even notice a beard. Tukuturi looks much more human-like than the other statues. Its smaller size and the unusual material the statue was made of, red punapua stone, are the things that make it stand out among the rest. All these facts are quite intriguing, right? Keep watching. There are several mysteries to unravel.
We'll stop there. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with the statues at Easter Island. It's something on my bucket list, that and the Galapagos Islands. I would love to go to those places. They're just filled with so much ancient history, and I know there are stories that we'll never know about them because the people that built these structures and these animals on Galapagos Islands, there's just no way to know everything that you would want to know about them, but I'd sure love to go and see them. So that video, I think that was a great video to give you good information about the statues themselves. And I'll just add, so I don't remember if he touched on it or not, but it's suggested that the Moai were created between 1250 and 1500 AD. So really not that long ago in the grand scheme of things. When you think back that there were, generations and generations and generations of people in the BC era, and these are estimated to have been created between 1250 and 1500 AD. Even though they're pretty old, they're not as old as some other things, that have been discovered on Earth. They were placed facing inward, so he talked about that, toward villages to watch over and protect the people. Again, except for the one statue that's facing away, and then the one statue that's kneeling. The buried portions contain detailed carvings, including petroglyphs, which are ancient symbols, on their backs. I just can't even imagine the time it took carving these. Like, again, it's like the pyramids. It just doesn't even make sense to me how something this intricate and big could happen, especially not that long ago. Now we got laser cutters and cranes, and even then it would be hard to do some of this stuff. Even today it would be hard to recreate some of the things like this that we find on Earth. But it's definitely in the weird and amazing category, in my opinion. Let's go back to the wheel. I guess I don't have to tell y'all we're going to go back to the wheel. You've figured out this pattern now, right? Oh, we're finally going to get something from space. Yay! So I'll tell you, too, that I think the video I have for this one is a short. I couldn't find really anything else Creative Commons that I could share. So, again, I'll probably have to, scooch it over on the screen a little bit. But let me pull up my... All right, this is the exoplanet HD 189733b, where, oops, pull up that video.
Did you know there's a planet where it...
All right, let's get this back, and we'll see what this looks like. Okay, just gonna pull it over a little bit, just to kind of get it centered. And let's learn about this planet where it rains glass sideways.
Did you know there's a planet where it rains glass? Sounds crazy, right? Well, meet HD 189733b, a bizarre, extreme world unlike anything on Earth. HD 189733b is a huge, deep blue gas planet located 63 light-years away from us. That's super far. It would take you 63 years to get there traveling at the speed of light. But here's the really wild part. HD 189733b is blazing hot, over 1,000 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to vaporize the rock that makes up glass. The vaporized glass gets whipped around by extreme 7,000 kilometers per hour winds. Just picture glowing, melted glass raining sideways through the air. When scientists discovered this glass rain planet, it showed them that weather in space can be totally different from weather on Earth. Planets like this are amazing reminders that the universe is full of unexpected surprises waiting to be uncovered. Who knows what other bizarre worlds are out there? Did you know there's a...
That's... Again, what do we do with some of this information? I can't process a wind speed of 7,000 kilometers per hour. I don't know how that translates. I know like a 5K race is 3 miles. I still don't know why we don't all use the same measuring systems. How silly is that? 7,000 mile per hour winds and 1,000 degrees Celsius for temperature. Is 0 Celsius is 32 degrees, is that right? Am I getting that roughly right? So 1,000 degrees Celsius, meaning that if 0 Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit, 1,000 Celsius, again, extrapolate that. I'm not going to try to do that math right now. I can't even, what do you do with that kind of information? What point of reference could any of us have to understand that? You know, it was already hot enough when we talked about the Crystal Cave, where it's 125, 130 degrees, whatever they said, Fahrenheit, with the high humidity. But 1,000 degrees Celsius, that's beyond hot. That's not hot. Forget the gates of hell that we talked about. That it sounds like this planet is closer to what we would think of for hell. So HD 189733b, the hellish blue exoplanet. HD 189733b is one of the most extreme and violent exoplanets ever discovered, located 63 light years away. And that was, I appreciated that this video went on to, give you some reference for that. 63 light years away. It would take you 63 years to get there, traveling at the speed of light. That's how far away it is. In the constellation Vulpecula, this Jupiter-sized gas giant is famous for its deep blue color, but it is far from an Earth-like paradise. The planet's blue color comes not from oceans, but from silicate glass particles in its atmosphere, which scatter blue light. Temperatures exceed, 1,700 degrees Fahrenheit or 930 degrees Celsius. I'm guessing that video was just kind of rounding up. Hot enough to melt lead. Winds reach speeds of 5,400 miles per hour. Again, they said 7,000 kilometers per hour. So this did the math for me. 5,400 miles per hour. More than 7 times the speed of sound. It experiences sideways glass rain, where molten glass is whipped around the planet in high-speed storms. HD 189733b is tidally locked, meaning one side always faces its host star while the other remains in darkness. This results in violent atmospheric circulation as heat is transferred from the scorching day side to the cooler night side. Because of its relative proximity to Earth and large atmosphere, HD 189733b is one of the best studied exoplanets. Observations by Hubble, Spitzer, and other telescopes have provided valuable insights into the atmospheres of hot Jupiters, helping astronomers understand exoplanetary climates and weather patterns. HD 189733b is a reminder that beautiful planets can be deadly, proving that reality is often stranger than fiction. Yeah, it sounds like something out of a movie, doesn't it? We don't have too many left to go. I really want to cover them all today. Oh, we're going to get another space one. This is really weird too. And not so violent, but what I wish is that with the ones that don't have any narration or very much in the way of captions, I wish I could be reading to you while we're watching and listening. I mean, I guess I could mute it, but I think it adds to it when there's some music to go with it. So we're just going to watch because there is some text on the screen for this video that tells you what we're looking at, and then I'll give you some more details from my little file here where I got information on it. Let's watch this. Wouldn't you think that that shape would mean the planet was that shape? That was my first thought when I learned about this. Is that when I saw this, it made me think that, if the wind is whipping around in that that shape that's not a circle, that would it mean that the planet is more that shape? So maybe we'll learn about that when I read through my little file here. So this is the Saturn's hexagon, the hexagon storm on Saturn. The hexagon storm is a massive six-sided weather system located at Saturn's North Pole. This perfectly shaped hexagon, first discovered by NASA's Voyager spacecraft in the 1980s and later observed in detail by the Cassini mission, remains one of the most bizarre atmospheric phenomena in the solar system. The hexagon spans about 20,000 miles or 32,000 kilometers across, large enough to fit 2 Earths inside it. That's why there was the image of Earth there to the side of the hexagon. And apologies that I forgot to move that back over after I had it moved so that we could watch that glass, the sideways glass blowing planet. Let's see. Lee says they put a cube in a possession as a monument that is placed in such a way to look like a hexagon. I'm sure there's more to this than anyone may ever know. Winds within the storm blow at 200 plus miles per hour, which is 320 plus kilometers per hour. The storm rotates counterclockwise and takes about 10.5 hours to complete one cycle, matching Saturn's rotation. It's long-lasting. Unlike storms on Earth that last for weeks or months, this hexagonal vortex has persisted for decades, if not centuries. So regarding why it's a hexagon, scientists believe the shape is caused by jet streams and fluid dynamics in Saturn's atmosphere. Laboratory experiments have shown that rotating fluids can naturally form polygonal shapes. But why Saturn's storm remains so stable is still a mystery. And then regarding color changes, Cassini observed that the storm changed color over time, shifting from a bluish hue to a more golden tone, possibly due to seasonal changes in Saturn's atmosphere. The hexagon storm remains one of the most stunning and perplexing planetary weather systems ever observed, offering insights into the complex atmospheric mechanics of gas giants. Yeah, and all I can say is wow. Just wow. All right, remove that. It's funny, it's clumping all my space ones together because I didn't have them on the list for the wheel altogether. Oh, the Dangxia landforms in China. Let's look at those. Let me find them. This is mind-boggling. In the words of Jessica Simpson, mind-boggling. Okay. Whoa. Okay. I think this one has a an AI voice, but you still get the information about the attraction.
Zhangli Dangxia National Geological Park is perhaps the largest natural painting canvas in the world, covering an area of about 400 square kilometers. It is a mountain in China which, with its beautiful spectrum, looks more like a work of art than a natural rock formation. The unusual colors of the rocks are the result of the deposition of red sand and layers of mineral deposits. It is important to emphasize that Dangxia is the name for the rock formations, while Zhangli is the place. This amazing area is very popular with tourists. In appearance and geological formation, it is unique in the world. The mountain offers an unforgettable sight in almost all its parts, but only this part, which is located in the province of Gansu in the northwest of the country, gained world fame and got its place on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 2010. Even for Mother Nature, creating such a piece of art was not easy. In fact, it took as many as 24 million years.
The Danxia landforms in China. Is that beautiful or is that beautiful? The Danxia landforms are a series of stunning multicolored rock formations found primarily in China. These geological wonders, often referred to as China's Rainbow Mountains, are famous for their vibrant red, orange, yellow, and green hues, creating landscapes that look almost otherworldly. How they formed. Danxia landforms were created over millions of years through a combination of sediment deposition, weathering, and erosion. These formations are composed mainly of red sandstone and conglomerates, which were deposited during the Cretaceous period, about 66 to 145 million years ago. Over time, tectonic activity lifted the rock layers, and wind and water erosion carved them into steep cliffs, pillars, valleys, and rolling hills. The unique coloration results from different minerals and iron oxide present in the sedimentary layers. You'll find them in the Zhangxi Danxia Geopark in Gansu Province, the most iconic site, known for its surreal striped mountains that resemble a painted canvas, or Mount Danxia in Guangdong Province, where the name Danxia originates, featuring striking red cliffs and rock pillars, and Langshan Mountain, Hunan Province, famous for its bizarre tower-like rock formations. Cultural and ecological significance, these landscapes are not only visually breathtaking, but also hold spiritual and cultural significance in Chinese history. I gotta let Richard in, the door's locked, so enjoy the picture for just a minute. Okay, that didn't take quite a minute, did it? Take that off. We got a few animals left. We got a couple of, or at least one more space thing left. Oh, this one's neat. Leafy sea dragon. Make sure this is the right one.
The leafy sea dragon, a relative of the seahorse, is primarily...
I wish I could set YouTube to not automatically start these videos when I open the windows, but I don't know if that's possible. Okay, so let's look at, the leafy sea dragon.
The leafy sea dragon, a relative
of the seahorse, is primarily found along the southern and western coasts of Australia. It uses fins along the side of its head to steer and turn. But since it has rigid skin, its mobility is limited. It will often stay in one place for several days at a time, posing as floating seaweed, feeding on small shrimp, plankton, and larval fishes. The leafy sea dragon is near threatened, and it has a life expectancy of 7 to 10 years.
That is so interesting. That doesn't even look real, does it? What great camouflage that is, though. So let's learn a little bit more about these. I am interested to see that in the species name, the taxonomic species name here is the word equus, E-Q-U-E-S. You know, and horses are equines, and it is like a seahorse family creature. The leafy sea dragon is one of the most mesmerizing creatures in the ocean. Found in the coastal waters of southern Australia, this rare and delicate relative of the seahorse is a master of disguise, resembling floating seaweed to avoid predators. Covered in leaf-like appendages, the leafy sea dragon blends seamlessly into underwater vegetation. Unlike seahorses, it does not have a prehensile tail. Oh, am I back? Is my sound back now? Oh, I can turn off autoplay. Okay. So let me know if my sound is back. I did remember to turn my microphone back on. Doesn't mean, again, the streaming gods obviously don't really care about me. All right, let me know if you can hear it. It's a slow swimmer relying on camouflage instead of speed to avoid predators. It feeds on tiny shrimp, plankton, and small fish by using its long tube-like snout to suck in prey. Oh, we talked about it not having a prehensile tail. Instead, it drifts with the currents using tiny, almost invisible fins to move. It's a mix of yellow, green, and brown hues, helping it blend into kelp forests and seagrass beds. It has no teeth or stomach, meaning it must eat constantly to survive. How weird is that? As with seahorses, males carry and hatch the eggs. The female lays up to 250 eggs on the male's tail, where they develop for about 9 weeks before hatching. Due to pollution, habitat destruction, and illegal collection for the aquarium trade, leafy sea dragons are near threatened. Australia has strict protections in place, making it illegal to catch or trade them. Obviously, that doesn't keep people from doing it. With its graceful movement and natural camouflage, the leafy sea dragon is one of the most beautiful and mysterious marine creatures, a true underwater masterpiece. Okay, I still see a couple of space things here. I like the space stuff. Oh, and there's one of them, the Boomerang Nebula.
The Boomerang Nebula is located 5,000 light-years away in the constellation Centaurus. Thanks to the Swedish ESO submillimeter telescope in Chile, astronomers were able to reveal that this interstellar cloud is the coldest place in the universe. At a temperature of negative 458 degrees Fahrenheit, it's only 1 degree above absolute zero, the lowest limit of all temperatures. To put that into perspective, Antarctica's Vostok station recorded Earth's lowest temperature at a warm negative 136 degrees Fahrenheit. It was named the Boomerang Nebula in 1980, a time when viewing an object 5,000 light-years away was like looking at the object with squinted eyes and blurry vision. With the clarity and precision of the Hubble Space Telescope, the nebula appears to be more of an hourglass shape and has been nicknamed the Bowtie Nebula. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Brain Bites to stay up to date on the latest videos.
All right, I'm giving my microphone a minute to come on. So that's the Boomerang Nebula. We've had several things that relate to extreme temperatures today. And again, these aren't numbers that I can process. I do not have a point of reference for that. I can't, again, it gets like, I think it's cold today. I've been wishing I had a sweater now through the whole stream. I don't know what the temperature is. I usually tell you that at the beginning of the stream, don't I? Again, it's rainy and gray and, not a lot of energy today. Oh, wow. So we're at 56 degrees right now. Oh, I've got my little camera blocked. Oh, 56 degrees here in South Lake. But regarding the Boomerang Nebula, the coldest known place in the universe, the Boomerang Nebula is located 5,000 light years away in the constellation Centaurus. So remember that sideways glass planet was 63 light years away. It's the coldest naturally occurring place in the known universe with a temperature of negative 457.7 degrees Fahrenheit, just 1 degree above absolute zero. It's even colder than the background temperature of space. Wow. The extreme cold is caused by the rapid expansion of gas being ejected from a dying red giant star at speeds of 370,000 miles per hour or 600,000 kilometers per hour. As the gas expands, it cools dramatically, similar to how air from an aerosol can feels cold when sprayed. Early ground-based observations gave it a boomerang-like shape, leading to its name. Later images from the Hubble Space Telescope revealed a more hourglass-like structure with a dense central region. The nebula is still evolving and will likely transform into a planetary nebula as the central star continues to shed its outer layers. The Boomerang Nebula is a fascinating example of how extreme conditions in space can defy expectations, making it a cosmic laboratory for studying the physics of cold gas and stellar evolution. You can see some of these names on the wheel now. I'm surprised at how this wheel picks stuff. Oh, here we've got our last space one, it looks like. This is in Antarctica. Okay, we're going to put it there, and we're going to open the link. Blood Falls in Antarctica.
In the McMurdo Dry Valleys in Antarctica, there is a 5-story tall waterfall that is leaking a blood red substance. It also In the McMurdo Dry Valleys in Antarctica, there is a 5-story tall waterfall that is leaking a blood red substance. It also happens to be home to one of the most alien life forms we have ever discovered. $5 million years ago, when things were a bit warmer and the sea level was a little higher, a whole bunch of seawater flowed into this part of Antarctica. Later, about 3 million years ago, the ice started to form again and glaciers slid over this pool of seawater. Also in there was all the microbial life that had been living. It's a little like if you took your goldfish bowl, sealed it up, put it in a bag, and left it there for 2 million years. I don't think you'd like what you found when you looked at it again. But due to some fissures in the glacier, some of this trapped pool is able to flow out, and the place where it starts to flow out is Blood Falls. So the waterfall turns out to be blood red for the same reason blood is red. It has tons of iron in it, and when it gets exposed to the air, it turns what is genuinely a blood red color. So, you notice it when you walk by. You're like, white, gray, brown, white, 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 brown, gray, white, white. Oh, blood red. It's a 5-story tall blood red waterfall. The source of Blood Falls is thought to be this brine lake, something that was so salty that it couldn't freeze. That's at least 1,300 feet under the ice and a couple of kilometers away. What's even more amazing is that the microbes that were trapped there, they're definitely still alive. Alive! Jill McCookie, the geomicrobiologist, which is an awesome title to have, published the definitive paper on Blood Falls. When they sampled this red sludge, they found that there were at least 17 different microbes living in it. How they survived turns out to be a pretty complicated answer, and we're not absolutely sure. But it goes something like this. They're trapped in there, so they need to be able to recycle their food source. What they think they do is that there are these sulfides, collections of sulfur, oxygen, and iron. And these microbes go and break them apart, and they eat the sulfur and are able to pull oxygen out of this iron sulfide. And essentially, when they do this, the iron fits back in because there's a bunch of free-floating iron in there and just remakes little tasty microbe snacks. It points to both the extreme conditions that microbial life can live under and starts to help us build our tools
for finding those conditions on other planets. But I think we can acknowledge that right here on Earth, there is life that is wondrous and weird and more alien than we really could have ever imagined. Subscribe here and watch more videos here. And if you're a geomicrobiologist, I will totally subscribe to your channel. Actually, if you're a biologist in general, I'll probably subscribe to your channel. Or a geologist. If you're a scientist, let me know. I'll subscribe to your channel.
All right, giving that microphone time to come back. This is just, what would you think if you were the first person to travel to this part of the world and see that? Because it does look like blood coming out of the ice, doesn't it? And that guy covered pretty much everything that my little typed thing would tell you. But I don't know if he talked about this last part. Despite Antarctica's freezing temperatures, the hypersaline nature of Bloodfall's water prevents it from freezing, allowing the red brine to continue its slow but steady flow. This surreal, otherworldly sight stands as a testament to the planet's incredible geological and biological processes. Blood Falls remains one of Earth's most unique natural wonders, offering scientists a glimpse into extreme environments and the potential for life beyond our planet. So yeah, oh, that's a Black Widow pulsar. And that's what you meant. That's what you meant. I don't know, how did I come up with Blood Falls then? I guess I thought it was going to finish spinning up to there. And so when you saw me jump up right quick also, there was this huge ruckus outside in the backyard where the ducks and geese are. And I shared with you last week that we lost 3 ducks over the course of about a week to the coyote that lives in the neighborhood. So instantly I was alarmed and thought, okay, I don't know what's really happening on the stream. I'm just going to jump up and make sure it looks like everybody is accounted for. So I sent Richard out to do that, which is funny, y'all. He can hear them out there screaming and carrying on too, but he didn't think to go look. Okay, so we're not going to take, we're going to go ahead and take this one off, and then I'll just have to remember to take Blood Falls off when it comes again. So let me find my Black Widow Nebula. Or it's a Black Widow Pulsar. Yeah, Black Widow. The Black Widow Pulsar. Let's find that one.
Magnetic
Oh my
fields
goodness.
play a huge role in the
Oh
eclipsing
my goodness,
mechanism
come
of
on,
Black
what's
Widow
happening?
pulsars. This
Okay. Try this again. All right, let's get this switched. This is again, the Black Widow Pulsar.
Magnetic fields play a huge role in the eclipsing mechanism of Black Widow pulsars. This phenomenon has been known since the 1980s, but its exact nature has not yet been clarified. Eclipses can be created by matter ripped off by pulsar wind from a companion star or material from the pulsar wind itself. Astronomers using the Fast Radio Telescope saw a rare phenomenon in the PSR J17200533 binary system with the Black Widow pulsar, the lensing of radio emission from a neutron star by a plasma cloud in the system. This is only the 5th case of such observations. The size of the lens cloud is estimated at 2,300 kilometers. Black Widow pulsars are an unusual subgroup of rapidly rotating neutron stars that reside in close binaries where a low-mass star acts like a companion. These compact objects acquired rotation periods of several milliseconds due to the accretion of matter from a companion star, while gradually destroying it due to the pulsar wind and high-energy radiation. Thanks to this, they acquired their name in honor of the species of terrestrial spiders. It is possible that such systems are descendants of low-mass X-ray binaries after the termination of accretion of matter onto the pulsar. There are 2 types of spider pulsars, which differ in the masses of companion stars, 0.2 to 0.4 solar masses in the case of Airbay pulsars named after the redback spiders or the Australian black widow, and 0.01 to 0.05 solar masses in the case of BW pulsars named after the common black widow. Many of these objects exhibit an eclipse of radio emission when the companion star approaches the line of sight for the terrestrial observer, and the degree of eclipse of the pulsar's radio pulses is related to its frequency. Black Widow Pulsar PSR J17200533. A
A group of astronomers led by Wang Shuangqiang of the Xinjiang Astronomical Observatory published the results of an analysis of data from observations of the Black Widow pulsar PSRJ 1720-0533 in the radio range using the ground-based 500-meter fast radio telescope in August 2020. The pulsar's rotation period is 3.26 milliseconds. It enters the system with an orbital period of 3.16 hours, and its companion is a star with a mass of 0.034 solar masses. The researchers noticed that during the initial phase of the eclipse, quasi-periodic variations in the emission of radio pulses with a modulation period of 22 seconds were observed, which were not recorded during the final phase of the eclipse. These results can be explained by the phenomenon of lensing of radiation by a plasma cloud, 2,300 kilometers in size. Similar phenomena have been observed for only 4 spider pulsars. In addition, observational data indicate that the eclipsing medium has a magnetic field of 8 Gausses. Scientists also calculated the rate of mass loss of the companion star under the influence of the pulsar wind, which was 10 to 12 solar masses in a year. In this case, the star will be completely destroyed in 10 years.
No, you're gonna wait. All right, so I had never heard of a Black Widow pulsar, and obviously it's just named that because the primary star, the Black Widow, is impacting its companion star, and that video covered a lot of what I could share with you. This just says that its powerful radiation and particle winds are blasting its nearby brown dwarf companion, stripping away its outer layers over time. The companion star, once a normal star, has been reduced to just 1/50th the mass of the Sun and continues to shrink. If this process continues, the pulsar may completely evaporate its companion, leaving behind a solitary millisecond pulsar. And regarding why this is important, the Black Widow pulsar provides key insights into binary star evolution, neutron star behavior, and extreme physics. Scientists have even used its pulses to test Einstein's theory of relativity with remarkable precision. This cosmic predator is a perfect example of how the universe creates both beauty and destruction, showcasing the power of dead stars still shaping their surroundings. I do want to point out too that one of the spiders that they showed early in the video, that was not a Black Widow spider. There is the redback widow spider like from Australia, but I think that other thing they showed early on, I go back and watch it again. I think it was an orb weaver, perfectly harmless. Let's see what we get next with the wheel, remembering that we've already gone through Blood Falls. Maybe that'll come up and I can take it off. See, I think I projected incorrectly that the wheel was going to keep spinning and landing on that other thing. The peacock mantis shrimp, which is not a shrimp, FYI. Let's find it. Okay, where'd you go? Okay. Where are you, peacock mantis shrimp? Let's try this. Here we go.
Hello and welcome back to All Things Marine. Today we will be talking about our first...
The window just jumps all over the place while I'm waiting for it to get to the size I need. I'll figure this out too when I'm switching between media. Still, it doesn't help y'all that wheel now has to be on this browser. I don't know how to fix that in the time it would take to fix it. Peacock mantis shrimp. Let's watch and learn a little bit about it.
Hello and welcome back to All Things Marine. Today we will be talking about our first arthropod in the subphylum Crustacea, the peacock mantis shrimp, or Odontodactylus scyllaris. But if you're new to the channel and you love marine life and you want to learn more about marine life, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. The peacock mantis shrimp lives in the Indian and the Pacific Oceans near coral reefs and grows to a length of about 6 inches on average, but there have been specimens that have grown up to double that. Very active. They're a very, very active predatory shrimp with one of the most complex eyes of any animal in the world. They have a compound eye system, which is built up of several small eyes on their eyes, and each of these eye stalks can rotate in various directions. I'll put a video of that up for you guys to visualize it. They're an ambush predator. They sit in their burrows and wait for a unsuspecting crab or something like that to come on by. And then this is what sets these interesting animals apart from other shrimp, is the way that they feed. They ambush by striking the prey with such force that it's equivalent to a 22 hunting rifle bullet. And they do this with their legs, which are like a club, and they pretty much crack open the shells of crabs, clams, or other gastropods like clams. And the way they do this is with a spring-like joint in their legs, in their frontal legs, and it really sets them apart from other organisms. I'll put examples of that happening in the video, but the peacock mantis shrimp is something that is actually able to harm humans. It's not able to kill a human, however, it can break a finger, and it is a very popular thing among aquarium owners. It's a very popular pet in tropical aquariums. However, it is capable of breaking glass, and it is capable of breaking fingers, like I said. So if you want to have one of these, just keep that in consideration, that it could either A, break the glass, or break your finger. So just keep that in consideration. And I hope you all like this video. And for the next video, we will be talking about the crown of thorns starfish. Please like and subscribe and comment.
That's a fun little channel, All Things Marine, I think is what that's called. And so he does a great job covering things. I was fascinated to learn that that little tiny creature is strong enough that it could break aquarium glass, or break your finger, or bite your finger, or whatever he mentioned about your finger. I don't know. I've never considered like an exotic. The turtle, again, our turtle is probably the most exotic pet I'm ever going to have, but those are pretty. I mean, that would be fun to have something like that, a tank that had some interesting little creatures like that in it. But let's do a little bit about the mantis shrimp that maybe he didn't cover this. The mantis shrimp is one of the most fascinating and formidable creatures in the ocean. Despite its name, it's neither a mantis nor a shrimp, but belongs to the stomatopod family. Found in tropical and subtropical waters, these marine crustaceans are known for their incredible eyesight, powerful strikes, and vibrant coloration. Mantis shrimp are divided into two main types based on their hunting strategy. There are spearers. They use sharp spiny appendages to impale soft-bodied prey like fish. And there are smashers. They have club-like appendages that can deliver one of the fastest and most powerful punches in the animal kingdom, accelerating at 50 miles per hour, which is 80 kilometers per hour, and striking with the force of a bullet. This punch can shatter aquarium glass and crack the shells of crabs and snails. You guys need to cool it. Thank you. The punch is so fast that it creates cavitation bubbles, generating additional shock waves that stun or kill prey even if the initial strike misses. That makes me think of that, where in the world would I have heard about this? Like if you hit somebody up under their chin, right, it can knock them unconscious. Is that right? Have I seen that somewhere? And it's not so much the power, but it's like the quickness and the power together, and it creates like a shock wave, I think, that can make you be unconscious. Despite their small size, typically 4 to 12 inches long, mantis shrimp are dominant predators in their ecosystems. They are highly territorial and often engage in combat with rivals. With their unparalleled vision, devastating strikes, and striking colors, mantis shrimp are living proof that some of the ocean's most extraordinary creatures come in small, powerful packages. Oh, we're almost finished. Still don't think it went as fast or smoothly as it could have if I hadn't had the problems with the sound. I wanted to have all this set up before you guys got here today. Okay, the Morokai boulders. Let's find those. Or Meraki. Oh, how do you say that? I guess maybe the video will tell us. I don't remember if it has talking or not. I don't think it does. Again, I sure wish I could be like narrating on these ones that don't already have some narration, but who knows if I'm ever going to figure out how I could make that work without this echo problem. All right, let me look at chat. I saw a comment pop up. So Lee said, I watched a mantis hit a crab and it knocked the crab's claw off. Wow. Well, isn't that interesting? Because even so, the insect a praying mantis is also very, very powerful. And I know over the years I've heard people tell stories of praying mantises like getting up onto like hummingbird feeders because they want some of that sweet nectar also. And they can kill those hummingbirds. They can kill and eat hummingbirds. Don't eat, you know, I'm already a bad typist most of the time, Lee. So when I have my phone or something, you know, the computer try to correct something, it probably isn't very far from what I would mess up on my own. So I don't know for sure how to pronounce these. Let me see. No. I guess I could ask... let's ask ChatGPT how to pronounce this one. Let's see. Let's do this. Because I don't want to say it wrong, but I mean, maybe I've seen these. Again, a lot of these things, I think I've seen them, or maybe I've heard about them here and there, but I just didn't know a lot about them until I decided I would do a show about it. Okay, let's see what ChatGPT says.
Moraki is pronounced as Moiraki. Here's the breakdown. Mo.
Okay, so it said Moraki is pronounced as Moiraki. It looks like it would be more like Moiraki, doesn't it? The Moiraki boulders are a group of massive, almost perfectly round boulders scattered along Kohe Beach on New Zealand's Otago coast. Don't know if I'm saying any of that right either. These giant stones, some measuring up to 10 feet in diameter. 10 feet in diameter. Yeah, that's massive. And weighing several tons, have fascinated scientists and visitors alike for centuries. The Moiraki boulders formed through a process called concretion, which took place over millions of years. Sediments and minerals, particularly calcite, gradually accumulated around a core, much like how pearls form in oysters. Over time, these mineral deposits hardened into large, rounded stone masses. Coastal erosion later exposed them from the surrounding mudstone cliffs, leaving them scattered along the beach. Many of the boulders have deep cracks and grooves called septarian veins, filled with minerals like quartz and dolomite, giving them a fascinating cracked appearance. Some appear almost perfectly spherical, while others are slightly oval or fractured. Due to their unusual appearance, they've been compared to dinosaur eggs, alien artifacts, or even petrified cannonballs. There are Maori legends surrounding the Moiraki boulders. According to Maori legend, the Moiraki boulders are the remains of calabashes, which are gourds, eel baskets, and kumara, which are sweet potatoes, that washed ashore from the wreck of the Areatiru, a legendary canoe that brought the ancestors of the Nagai Tahu people to New Zealand. I'm butchering all kinds of stuff today. This adds to the boulders' cultural and mystical significance. Today, the Moiraki boulders are a protected natural landmark and a popular tourist attraction. They continue to inspire myths, photography, and scientific curiosity, making them one of New Zealand's most intriguing geological wonders. Yeah, that's interesting. All right. We only have 2 left because I got to take Blood Falls off when it comes up again. Which looks like it'll be now. You think it'll be Einstein's brain or the red-lipped batfish? Oh, it's going to be close. Oh, we got Einstein's brain. I don't think I knew any of this, so... Oops. I don't know why some of them come up in a search and some of them don't. Einstein's brain. Oh my goodness.
Brent.
See, I just need another monitor so badly. I can't stand it. Obviously, I don't do streams like this all the time. I'd like to do more streams like this where I'm sharing images and videos and things, but not if it means I've still got to go to this much trouble to access everything. Looks like a biological object. We'll have to suggest that to the Mud Fossil University. All right, let's learn about Einstein's brain. Tell me how much of this you already knew.
Today we will talk about the mind of Albert Einstein after his death. Albert Einstein's brain became the subject of scientific curiosity and controversy after his death in 1955. Dr. Thomas Stoltz Harvey, the pathologist who conducted Einstein's autopsy at Princeton Hospital, removed Einstein's brain for scientific study without the permission of Einstein's family. Harvey claimed he did this for research purposes and to understand the neurological basis of Einstein's genius. Harvey took numerous photographs of Einstein's brain from various angles during the autopsy. He also divided the brain into 240 blocks and preserved them in formaldehyde. Removal of Einstein's brain without proper consent raised ethical concerns and sparked controversy. Einstein's family was initially unaware of the removal, and they only learned about it later. A Over the years, Harvey conducted various studies on Einstein's brain, hoping to find anatomical differences that might explain his extraordinary cognitive abilities. However, the results were inconclusive, and the scientific community remained skeptical of the validity and significance of these studies. Many neuroscientists and researchers questioned the scientific value of studying Einstein's brain, arguing that his intellectual brilliance was likely a result of the complex interplay of various factors, including genetics, environment, and education, rather than specific anatomical features. Harvey distributed some of the preserved brain sections to other researchers for further study. This led to additional controversies, as some researchers questioned the ethics of disseminating Einstein's brain tissue without the proper consent of his family. In 1998, more than 4 decades after Einstein's death, Harvey returned the majority of Einstein's brain to the pathologist who conducted the autopsy at Princeton Hospital, but kept some portions. The returned portions were eventually cremated and the ashes scattered. The studies on Einstein's brain remain a subject of debate within the scientific community. While some researchers continue to analyze the preserved slides and photographs, others argue that the ethical concerns and the lack of proper scientific protocols make any conclusions drawn from these studies highly questionable. I hope you have learned something new from this video. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Okay, so how much of that did you already know? I mean, I think I may have heard or read somewhere that his brain, had been preserved and was studied for a time, but I didn't know that it was done without consent. And I don't know that I had ever heard any of the things they found out about it. So I know the video covered some things, but those are the things I thought would be interesting to focus on. So among the findings upon doing this not consented to post-mortem study of his brain were that there were increased size in some of the regions. Einstein's parietal lobes, particularly the inferior parietal region, were larger and more developed than those of most people. This area is associated with spatial reasoning, mathematical ability, and visualization. It had an unusual folding pattern. His brain exhibited more complex folding, gyri and sulci. Gyri, how do you pronounce Gyri? In certain areas, which may have contributed to enhanced connectivity between neurons and more efficient processing of information. He had a thicker corpus callosum. The corpus callosum, which connects the 2 hemispheres of the brain, was found to be thicker than average. This could have allowed for faster communication between the left and right hemispheres, potentially enhancing problem solving and creative thinking. He had fewer Sylvian fissures. The lateral sulcus, which is a Sylvian fissure, which typically separates different brain regions, was less pronounced in Einstein's brain. This could have facilitated greater interaction between different cognitive functions, and it had a higher glial cell ratio. Studies found that Einstein's brain had a higher ratio of glial cells to neurons in certain areas, particularly those involved in complex thought. Glial cells support and enhance neural function, potentially improving cognitive efficiency. These structural differences suggest that Einstein's brain was uniquely wired for advanced reasoning, abstract thinking, and problem solving. However, scientists caution that intelligence is influenced by a combination of genetics, environment, and experience, and not just brain structure alone. So now we get to learn about the red-lipped batfish. I don't know that I'd ever heard of this thing. It's another short, so I might have to do some jiggling of the oh, do I have it already pulled up? No. Okay, so let's pull up this video. It's our last one of the day. Thank you guys for hanging with me today. Oh, bizarre. Yeah, I need to look at that setting to see if it's possible to not have the video start as soon as I open the window. Not that it's a problem most times, but let's get changed to this. And we're going to move this over a little bit. There's our red-lipped batfish. And we'll watch this little short video.
Meet the red-lipped batfish, a bizarre creature that looks like it's ready to hit the town with its bright red lips. Found in the Pacific Ocean around the Galapagos Islands and off the coast of Peru. Batfish are bottom dwellers, so they are usually found within the sand or ocean floor. This deep-sea oddity prefers to walk rather than swim. With its modified pectoral fins, it awkwardly shuffles across the ocean floor. Batfish are carnivorous and love to snack on small fish, shrimp, and crustaceans. The small horn-like structure on their head is called an elysium. It acts like a fishing lure, attracting unsuspecting prey within striking distance. Meet the red-lipped batfish, a bizarre creature that looks like it's ready to...
We don't need it to loop. Have you guys ever seen that? And I wonder, so evolution-wise, what is the purpose of those red lips? How did that help it? Let's see, the red-lipped batfish, I won't try to say this name, is a bizarre and fascinating fish species known for its distinctive red lips and unique method of locomotion. It belongs to the family, okay, I'm not going to try that, it's a big long word, starts with an O, and is found primarily around the Galapagos Islands. The most striking feature of the red-lipped batfish is its bright red lips, which stand out against its pale sand-colored body. The exact reason for these lips is unclear, but some scientists suggest they may play a role in attracting mates. I guess that would kind of make sense, right? It has a flattened body with a triangular disc-like shape, giving it a bat-like appearance. Instead of swimming like most fish, the batfish walks along the ocean floor using its modified pectoral and pelvic fins, which resemble legs. It has a small upturned mouth and a protruding structure on its head called an elysium, which functions as a lure to attract prey. The red-lipped batfish is primarily found in the waters around the Galapagos Islands, but it has also been spotted off the coast of Peru. It inhabits sandy and rocky ocean floors at depths ranging from 10 to 120 meters or 30 to 400 feet. It is a carnivore preying on small fish, crustaceans, and mollusks, and instead of actively hunting, it uses its elysium to lure unsuspecting prey close before striking. The batfish is a poor swimmer, relying more on walking than swimming. Its unique red lips may play a role in species recognition or mating behavior, and it has rough, bony skin that provides protection from predators. The red-lipped batfish is not currently considered endangered, but due to its limited range, it could be vulnerable to habitat destruction and climate change. It belongs to the same family as the long-nosed batfish and other bottom-dwelling anglerfish. Despite its unusual appearance, it is not poisonous or dangerous to humans. The batfish's red lips give it a permanently pouting or grumpy expression, making it one of the ocean's most peculiar-looking creatures. And those are our wild and wonderful, weird things on Earth and beyond for today's stream. I'm looking at your comment here now, Lee. If you have an interest in out-of-the-box thinking, check out The Biologist on Mud Fossil University. Yeah, when I saw you mention that earlier, I was going to be looking that up. So I love it. And I don't like not knowing things. So when I come across something that's new to me, it's like I need to understand where did it come from, why does it look like that, why is it doing that, and you know, that's enjoyable. That's enjoyable for me. And I feel like it's especially important the older I get to continue you creating folds and doing all the things that Einstein had already going on in his brain, just so I can continue to enjoy life and living and learning as I get older. Because physically, we all know there are going to be a lot of things that most of us won't be able to do easily, if at all, as we get older and weaker and slower. But there's no reason for the brain to be part of that as well. There's ways to keep the brain exercised and youthful, and I think that just has to do with learning and absorbing information and creating things and making connections in a lot of different ways. So that's the show for today. I'm a little bit behind schedule. Again, thanks for hanging out with me a little bit longer than I thought it was going to go, but I think I probably could have shaved between 20 and 30 minutes off if I'd really had everything all set up like I had it before, and I just, clicked my buttons here on the sources thing on OBS to go to them instead of then having to find them on the computer because I had to move them around to fix my sound issue at the last minute. So cross your fingers that next week's stream will be a little less involved and go a little more smoothly. It's not going to take so many elements. And we'll talk about, this was a suggestion from, oh my gosh, who made this suggestion a couple of weeks ago? Erica made this suggestion a couple of weeks ago to do celebrities' hidden talents. So I thought, because I couldn't find hidden talents on a lot of them, we would do some little known facts and hidden talents about some celebrities. So some of them will be on your favorite celebrities lists, I'm sure. Some of them will be ones you don't really know much about. But I was kind of tickled to see some of the things that they can do besides what we watch them do on screen or on TV, wherever it is we know them from. So we'll do that. And then the following stream will be a little bit more like today, so I'm definitely going to have to get some of these technical things worked out before then, because we're going to talk about some popular conspiracy theories. That is, y'all, I love that kind of stuff. So be ready for that one. That's week after next. Next week is the celebrity hidden talents and little known facts. So I'll hope to see you there for that one. I have a video that should be going up this weekend. At the latest, you'll see it sometime Monday. It's just going to depend on what the weekend looks like as far as getting chores and things done outside, since the weather's kind of nasty right now. But again, I thank you for watching. If you were here live with me, that's really special. Thanks for all the comments in the chat. If you're watching as part of the Rewatch crew, I appreciate you so much for doing that as well. I'll look forward to seeing you next Friday, same time, 2 o'clock. And be safe, be happy, be well. I hope you're having good weather where you are. And I think that does it for today. I love you guys. I think I need to pull something up here. I don't have an outro created yet. So if you missed the intro to today's stream, please at least rewind it or restart the stream or something and let me know what you think of that, because that is a first for me to do anything like that. And again, part of my objective is always to have something going on that it won't hurt for people to miss if they don't have YouTube Premium, because a lot of people have to watch ads at the beginning of the stream if it's a monetizable stream. And that way, if I have something that's playing in that first however long part of the stream, then by the time they finish the ads and get into the actual live stream, maybe they won't miss anything. So I hope that's how it works anyway. But I love you all, and I thank you for being here. It's always fun to spend time with you. And again, I hope you saw something today that was new to you, that was interesting to you. And always send me ideas. If you got something you'd like me to do on a show, I'd be happy to take suggestions and get your assistance with coming up with ideas. So I'll see you next week, and I love you guys. Bye.